So no vlog for yesterday or today. Yesterday I went in for surgery on my knee. It's still sore, I'm still recovering, so today we'll catch up on some news and do some Q&As. According to Canon rumours, Tamron this year will announce a 24-70 f2.8 DI-VC USD G2 lens. This is an update to the older 24-70 lens that Tamron announced. So according to Canon rumours, this year Tamron will announce a 24-70 f2.8 DI-VC USD G2 lens. This is an update from their earlier 24-70 lens. DI means it's full frame lens. The VC means it's image stabilized. This is something that a lot of people have been wanting Canon to come out with, is a 24-70 f2.8 image stabilized lens. Currently the 24-70 is not image stabilized. Now remember, this is just a rumour and there's no pricing on this lens yet. However, Tamron usually comes in fairly cheap for their lenses. We'll need to wait and see when it gets released and what the image quality is like. Canon has released a firmware update for the EOS M5 camera to version 1.0.1. It's a minor update and corrects a phenomenon in which the playback grid is set to 6x4, and the vertical image is displayed on a horizontal image and is not rotating correctly. It also fixes some language problems, specifically with Japanese language. I'll put a link to the firmware update below, so if you own an M5, download it and install it on your camera. Canon themselves have released an EOS movie making video tutorial. This is a 10-part mini course. It takes about 17 minutes to go through all 10 videos, gives you hints and tips on making movies with Canon EOS cameras. Again, I'll put a link to the videos below. Go take a look, they're actually not too bad. Canon Watch has announced the rumour that Canon this year, according to Canon Watch, Canon will announce the Canon EOS 6D Mark II at some point in July. The 6D Mark II is a full frame camera that's slightly less on features than the 5D Mark III and obviously the 1DX Mark II. Generally with Canon, the lower the number, the lower the grade of the camera. The 1DX is Canon's professional top of the line body, the 5D Mark III and now the 5D Mark IV, the 5 series cameras, are professional full frame cameras, not quite as good as 1D. The 6D, not quite as good as a 5D, still a full frame camera, comes in slightly cheaper, more for the amateur and hobbyist market, was still a good camera. According to Canon Watch, the rumoured specs are to include a 28 megapixel sensor, a tilting LCD touchscreen, Digic 7 processor, DPAF. There's a possibility of 4K, although in previous rumours they were told that there wouldn't be any 4K. The 6D Mark II, remember, has been in the rumour mill for around about a year, ever since, in fact, since before the 5D Mark IV rumour started really coming along. It's also rumoured to have Wi-Fi, NFC and wireless charging, a larger viewfinder and a new autofocus point system. It's going to be interesting to see if they take the AF system from the 5D Mark IV and put it in the 6D too. Generally the 5D Mark IV or 5D3 previously had a much better autofocusing system than 6D. It's expected to be announced July, shipping sometime in August, but again, this is a rumour, nothing's in concrete, you just have to wait and see. Sony has recently patented a dual pixel sensor similar to what Canon sensors have. Dual pixel autofocus is one of Canon's best things going for taking shots, taking video. The dual pixel works in live view. It's an excellent focusing system. Now Sony has patented something very similar. Obviously will be coming on an upcoming camera, and if they can get anywhere close to Canon's dual pixel autofocusing system, this will be a big boon to Sony cameras. Apple has just launched a site for iPhone photography tips and tricks. It's a series of 16 videos that give you professional photography tips and tricks to try and get the best out of your iPhone 7 camera. I'll put a link to it below, as with everything else. Snapchat stock has crashed over 20% and losses continue to widen to the tune of $2.2 billion. One of the reasons for this is Snapchat isn't getting very many new users, and personally I think this is due to their interface. I think the Snapchat interface absolutely sucks. If somebody posts something, I find it very hard to go in and actually locate that picture that somebody's just posted. It's all about you posting out and not really about you seeing what other people have posted. Their interface is absolutely terrible. Phase 1 has unveiled the IQ3 achromatic 101 megapixel black and white only camera. The IQ3 has a maximum ISO of 51200, which Phase 1 boasts is the most light sensitive medium format back on the market today. Phase 1's marking it as the IQ3 100 megapixel achromatic camera. It's actually 101 megapixels. Why they don't call it 101 megapixels, I don't know. It leaves out a bare colour filter, meaning it captures pure light information. According to Phase 1, this camera is designed for the ultimate option for photographers looking to capture high resolution black and white images in genres such as fine art, landscape, portrait and architecture. The camera will cost $50,000. To be honest, who's going to spend $50,000 on a black and white only camera nowadays? Your cell phone shoots in colour. Just about any camera you pick up shoots in colour. And for that amount of money you can buy a Leica medium format colour camera. I don't know who's going to buy this. I personally don't think it's a good idea, but there you have it. If you have $50,000 to spend, you can go buy a 101 megapixel black and white camera. And now on to Q&A. You can leave your questions for me either below in the comment section or head on over to my Facebook, Hackersoft Productions LLC, and drop some questions in the comments over there. Hi Hackersoft. I've been playing around with photography for a couple of years now, and I'm not sure whether to buy an updated camera or a new lens. I mostly shoot snapshots just to have memories of places I've been in my family. What's your advice? Thanks. Right, well, you didn't tell me what camera you currently own, and what lenses you currently own, so I basically can't answer this question. If you're going to ask me a question like this, it's great that you told me what you want to shoot. It's snapshots, it's memories, it's your family. But you need to tell me what camera you currently own, what lenses you currently own, and also what your budget is. For snapshots and family pictures, for lenses, you're probably looking at slightly wider angle, something like a 24-70. As a good all-round lens and something that's good for portraits and landscapes, you know, snapshot things, I use 24-70 all day long. It's a $2,200, $2,300 lens though. I'm not sure if that's within your budget, since you're just shooting family portraits and pictures of where you've been. Nikon, Sony, Canon all have really good 24-70 lenses, but as I said, they are expensive. If you're shooting an APS-C camera, you're probably looking at something like an 18-55 lens, something on the wider angle. Updating your camera, I don't know what you currently have, so I can't recommend a camera to go up to. Please include more details in your questions, that way I can actually answer the questions and not be shooting in the dark. Hi, I currently own a 7D Mark II APS-C camera. It's the only camera I have. I currently have a couple of lenses for it, a 50mm f1.8 and an 18-135. I'm looking for a better lens and thinking about getting more into sports photography. What lens do you recommend I get? The 7D Mark II shoots at 10 frames a second. It's a very good APS-C camera. For sports photography, go with the 70-200mm l2.8 lens all day long. If you can't afford the 2.8 lens, Canon also makes a 70-200 f4 lens. It's slightly cheaper, it's not quite as sharp as a 2.8 lens, and of course you're losing one stop of light. But yeah, I would recommend the 70-200 all day long for sports photography. Now just remember, since you're shooting on an APS-C camera, the 7D Mark II, you need to multiply your focal length by 1.6 times. This will give you 112mm by 320mm focal length. So you get more reach, but you're just not going to get the slightly wider shots at 70mm. It will be 112mm. Hi Hackersoft, I'm just wondering why you started out your YouTube channel. One of the main reasons I started this up is there is no informational vlogs, how-to tutorials, anything like that I can find of, at least, that is mainly focused in the southern, southeastern area of the United States. There's lots of these things out on YouTube that you can go take a look at, but every place that these people go, do their shoots, etc., they're all New York, Philadelphia, Seattle. There's really nothing in this area. So I wanted to have something where the places I go, people around the southeastern area might actually recognise, and it might make a better connection with people. That's one of the main reasons that I wanted to do it. The other reason I wanted to do this was I started out like everybody else, picked up a camera, I was taking snapshots of places I've been, families like one of my earlier QA people asked about, and I've progressed, and I want to pass on my knowledge to other people to let them take better photographs. The more you know, the more you use your camera, the better photographs you'll take, and you'll end up not just taking snapshots, you'll actually end up taking good photographs. Hi, I've watched one or two of your videos now and noticed that you paused quite a bit during your speech. I was just wondering why that was. This is actually more of a cultural thing. I'm Scottish, I came from Scotland, born and raised there, and in Scotland people speak real fast. When I moved over to America, I found that nobody could understand what I was saying. Not just the accent, but just because I spoke so fast, especially down here in the south. But everything down here in the south is so relaxed, and that includes their speech. Southerners are known for having this southern drawl. They draw everything out, and as such their sentences take longer to say. Well, since nobody could understand me, I had to start slowing down my speech just to get people to understand me. And one of the things that I'd done, it initially just started off as a joke, was Captain Kirk, William Shatner, is notorious for pausing in his sentences. He does it more for emphasis. And I thought, okay, if I start doing this, it will slow down my speech. It will allow people to catch up with what I'm saying, and I can continue on. Unfortunately, I found that it's now actually become part of my speech pattern, and I will regularly pause in the middle of sentences without even thinking about it. It's really just a way to slow down what I'm saying so that people, especially here in the South, can actually understand what I say. Maybe not the answer you're looking for, but I hope that done it. And that's the end of today's news and Q&A roundup. I hope you enjoyed this little segment. Please stay tuned for more. As always, if you like these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also go take a look at Hackersoft Productions LLC on Facebook, where I post pictures, videos, and lots of other content as well.